Alright guys, it's the Game Outdoorsman here, and today I am back with another episode of the Hunter Talks. I know it's been quite a while, but a special occasion came up that I just couldn't put it off any longer. I'm gonna get this music out of the way. Yeah. Okay, that's a bit better. Yeah, the Hunter, if you haven't been following the news at all, which I hope that if you're watching this you do, they recently announced that they are making a new game. Yep, they did it. We never thought... I kept saying they wouldn't do it, and now they did it. It's called the Call of the Wild, or the Hunter Call of the Wild, and it's having an open beta next week. Or not open beta, it's a closed beta, and it's coming out next spring. So I'm pretty excited. A lot of people are going probably pretty crazy right now, because it means a lot of things, or could mean a lot of things. We don't really know everything yet, but I'm just gonna start a hunt here so that I'm less distracted. So yeah, after watching the trailer, which they do have a trailer out there if you want to go check it out, but it looks a lot like it reminded me a lot of specifically this Cabela's game, but it definitely, maybe it's just like the different style, the different engine that it's in now. It just looked a bit different. And overall I think it looks really good, but I guess we'll have to see when it actually comes out. But yeah, I'm super excited. I don't even really know what I'm gonna talk about. There's so much to talk about in this video. I almost forgot, I don't think I introduced, I'm here with Flinter.
Hi.
Sorry, I forgot. He's just sitting there quietly. Yeah. So if you haven't checked out Flinter's channel, make sure you do that too. If you somehow haven't already. But what were your initial reactions to this? Like,
kind of similar, like you said. We pretty much, no one thought it would ever happen, and it did. And then, as you said, looking at the trailer, it did somewhat have like a Cabela's-esque look to it, I guess. But it's going to be interesting to see like how they do the whole thing, because it's going to be more of an open world than Cabela's. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to try it out, I'll say that.
yeah. And the reason why I'm playing this instead of the Hunter right now isn't because I thought it was more like the new game. It's more of just for some reason the Hunter crashes as soon as I play the press any kind of try to play it at all right now, so I couldn't get that fixed in time for this, so yeah, this will have to do. And also, if you're wondering why the recording is all messed up, my old monitor broke and I had to revert to an even older monitor, which has a 4:3 aspect ratio, and my recording and games and stuff does not like it. So yeah, I promise I'll get it fixed eventually. But yeah, so I guess we can just sort of go through the stuff that we saw. There isn't a whole lot we've gone through, or gotten as far as information goes, on the game. All we had is that trailer, which is where pretty much all of it comes from, and then I've seen some tweets, and so they have like other few sparse articles and other things that they have released so far. And so, well, like we said from the trailer, it looks a little bit more like just the style of it looked a little bit more like a Cabela's game. And that isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially when you when it reminded me the most of this game, which is, if you ask me, the best Cabela's game as far as like realism and just sort of generally fun gameplay. Like, this is most Cabela's games for me were always just sort of fun to play through and like just go through the game, but like just playing it for the sake of playing it never really felt special. Like as soon as I got those trophies, and had like that very specific animal that I needed to hunt as part of like the campaign or something, it sort of didn't really feel as like fun to play. Like I didn't really have much direction after that. But this game, it just sort of feels like you're walking around the woods hunting, and that's at least way more than any other game. So, if anything, if it is similar to a Cabela's game, I hope it's something like this, because that's about as good as it can get as Cabela's games go, if you ask me. Another thing that points towards the whole Cabela's game, and I'm not sure if you saw this, but a community member by the name of Steffi on Twitter, he tweeted out that he got to actually participate in the alpha of this game, testing, and apparently that was quite a while ago, but he said he was a little bit worried that it played a lot like Cabela's. So that points even more towards it being more towards the Cabela's-like game. And seeing as this series, as far as I know, isn't going anywhere, Cabela's isn't coming out with new games, that doesn't really surprise me at all. Because there's going to be a lot of people who want new Cabela's games. So the Hunter is probably trying to provide for that with this new game. At least that's part of my theory right now. Now I'm trying to remember everything from the trailer. Flinter, if you have anything about like the Cabela's deal, like
I haven't played Cabela's so I don't know specifically like the game that you're playing right now that you're talking about, but yeah, in general, Cabela's games have that like specific objective type of gameplay where, as they've said, it's going to be open world. So I don't really know. Obviously, we haven't gotten the chance to play it yet, but I don't know how that part's going to be compared to Cabela's. Hopefully, it's going to be a lot more like the Hunter, in the fact that you can kind of do whatever you want. You don't have to play by the roadmap basically that they give you.
Yeah, and that's sort of like how Cabela's actually kind of managed to pull themselves a little bit more towards the end. I'm not sure if I've really talked about it at all on my channel, but two of the last games that they were coming out with, one of the first one was Cabela's Hunting Expeditions, which was actually, it came out right about the time that I discovered the Hunter, and that one they were sort of marketing as it was going to be a return to the authentic hunting experience and sort of choose your own path hunting and choosing your own trophy and stuff for the most part. And I later learned when I actually played the game that it was kind of a flop in that aspect. It didn't exactly work. It had some... It felt more like they were trying to take the same features that they were using and then making it like a choose-your-own version of it. Like, it still had waypoints. It still had like designated like shooting spots and stuff like that, but it was just sort of, you get to choose out of like 3.
Oh.
So yeah, that's how hunting works, right? You choose one of the designated spots and then you just go for it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that one was kind of a flop, but then they kind of redeemed themselves, and with this game, which is Pro Hunt, which is one of the last, if not the last game they made, which I think this is about as good as you can get in the Big Game Hunter series. Like, it has some features that even the hunter could probably benefit from. Like, it has time of day AI reactions, like bedding, feeding, drinking, and stuff like that. And the animals move around relatively randomly as far as I see, but it's mostly actually like driven by those areas, which is actually really realistic. Because in real life, you tend to see animals. You can see animals technically anywhere, and you do, but you usually consistently see animals in specific areas, or areas going between those specific areas, like bedding and feeding areas. That's why they're so key to hunting, is understanding those places, and that's actually a thing that you can do in this game. So
That was something that I was hoping somehow would be embedded in the Call of the Wild when I saw it, to differ from Hunter Classic, as they're calling it now. I thought hopefully they'll do something like that, because, as you said, that is a big part of real life hunting.
yeah, and oh boy, I might actually have some deer coming in right as I was about to leave.
And mule deer.
But yeah, one thing that I did have a little bit of a concern though, over the whole
The wind can change without warning.
overall, like the
Always
whole
make
Cabela's
sure you
game
adjust your
thing
position
was
to be downwind
seemed
from
not
your
too
target.
bad to me. The only things would be, well, one big thing that I noticed from the trailer that was a little bit worrying is a lot of the models and the like world design, and it's something that I've been seeing a little bit in the Hunter as well. Is I don't want to call it cartoony, but a lot of the time with some of the models that I was seeing, a lot of things tend to be, they just look a little bit over exaggerated with things. Like, it's hard to explain, but like just sort of, it feels like they're trying to make things a little over cinematic and over like and of course this might not actually be what the actual maps and stuff turn out to be, but some of the especially with like the deer models and the antlers specifically, they looked a little bit over the top to me in the trailer. And yeah, that, and I think another one that was sort of a good example is the bison that were in there. They looked ridiculously like just sort of like just beefy. They looked like they were just super, like their heads were just like super beefed out and just kind of weird looking. I don't know. It could have just been that it was that clip, but it's something that I tend to see more in like Cabela's games. Is like they sort of over exaggerate some features of animals to sort of make it a little bit more thematic. And the same with the environment. They try to pack a lot of like sort of a lot of scenery into a very small map size, and it doesn't always work out. Of course, their maps are going to be probably way bigger than anything in even this, I think, is, yeah, pretty much any Cabela's game, but still, it's a little bit of a concern that I had, and I guess we will have to see once it actually comes out. But yeah, if it goes the way that, if that has anything to say about the game, I think that it might be a little bit more casual than I really hope for. But yeah, It does look like it looked like they were trying to make it a little bit more appealing to the less hardcore simulator players. I forgot. I was reading like one of the posts that was made about it. One of the only, if the only post that was on the website said that they were trying to make it a little bit more accessible and appealing to less hardcore players and old fans of the series, while also keeping the appeal to the old fans. So it'll be interesting to see how that actually works. But yeah, I don't know. You've watched the trailer, I'm assuming. At least.
I noticed
I'm not.
a similar thing with the animals as well and models, as you were saying. It is hard to explain. It's something similar to Cabela's, where it's like kind of overdone or something. I don't even know exactly what it is. But something just seems a little bit off, even compared to the animals in the Hunter that they don't have like the fur.
Hmm.
Almost overdone, like you said. That might be what it is. Looking at it, was trying to figure out what is it that looks off about them, and that might be it.
Yeah, and I think especially in this game, one of the biggest examples I've seen so far that matches that description is the black bears in this game. They look ridiculously just mad all the time, and it's like, really? Did you? They look like meaner than most grizzlies in like the survival, the dangerous hunts games. Like, it's a little overblown with in that aspect, but
warning. Always make sure you adjust your position to be downwind from your targets.
let's see if there's anything worth shooting here. But yeah, one redeeming factor that I did see on the models that I'm not sure if many other people have noticed is I got an email about the closed beta. I'm not sure if it was because I signed up for it or if they were notifying me on it for some reason. But yeah, it was just sort of almost like a newsletter article about it, and it had a picture of, as far as I know, the first like image of a whitetailed deer model that we've seen so far, and it actually looked pretty good. Like, it looked rather similar to the old game model, like as far as the antlers go, but it just looked like it had much better hair, and it actually looked a fair amount like the deer in this game, just the antlers were
Double lung
different.
shot. Excellent shot placement.
Try and
Won't go
find it.
far.
Yeah, I could maybe send it to you later if I have to, but it did look quite good, if you ask me. And to be honest, if that's the only good model in the game, I don't think I would really complain too much. And it's not like I'm not going to buy the game purely because of the models. Like, they would have to be really bad for that to happen, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I don't think we really got much of the. We didn't really see a whole lot of actual like gameplay and how it works out. It was mostly just cinematics showing off like the new technology. The vegetation looks ridiculous. Like, I remember the first time that I saw like the ground cover and just the forest canopy and stuff, in the way the lighting worked in the Hunter. I was pretty new to PC level graphics at the time, and I was just amazed by how well it looked back when I first discovered the Hunter. And this the new engine and stuff just blows all that out of the water, and it's just it looks so good. I'm really, if that's one thing that is going to be worlds better, is it's, well, obviously pretty much every issue that we had with the old game that were engine related, are going to be fixed, or at least can be fixed now, because it is a new engine, it is new updated, and I really hope that there is no serious spawn distance or render distance limit this time. Yeah, that'll be very interesting to see, because I'm guessing there will be a render distance limit, because there pretty much has to. It's not like we can just look 2 miles across a valley and expect to see the the game to render that fine. But hopefully we'll be able to actually do some long range shooting and glassing in this new game, because it does look like they already have some pretty nice reserves that would actually take advantage of that sort of stuff. Like there were sort of mountainous reserves where you might be able to glass for, say, elk or something, on the other side of a mountain or a valley. So yeah, hopefully all that stuff gets fixed with this new game and this new engine. I'm not sure really why it wouldn't be. And as far as other gameplay mechanics, we didn't see. The only thing we saw about I could get anything as far as gameplay goes, is there was a little clip, or it was actually even a screenshot, only a screenshot of a first-person perspective, and then some other players, other hunters. It will be multiplayer on release. So there was other players there, and the first-person animation, at least in the clip, it's hard to really judge animations from a picture, actually. But it did look like they were holding it in at least a better way than we are right now in the classic game. So that is hopeful, at least. We'll have to see how the animations are when we can actually see the animation. But hopefully they finally get it, even if it takes a whole new game. They can finally fix that.
Here's a screenshot I'm looking at now. The player with the rifle, like with the barrel up over his shoulder, he's like resting the gun on it. I don't know if that's going to be animation or not.
Yeah, that would be cool. I always thought about having like different states for the animation, like say idle animations, because usually if I'm just walking with the rifle, walking through the woods with a rifle, I sort of go into stages. Like when I first pull it out and I'm walking through an area that I might see something, I usually have it in like a ready stance, and then as I go along I sort of put it in more relaxed carries. So I always thought that it would be cool, if you hold the gun out for long enough, it just sort of goes into a more relaxed state, maybe more out of your view. But yeah, we'll see about the animations. We have literally nothing to go by right now, so it's hard to speculate. Overall, I'm pretty excited for this. If it does turn out to be a little bit more casual, if anything, I hope that that would make a little bit of room for another game to come by that's even more of a simulator. Because one big thing that's sort of been a war that the Hunter has been in the front lines on so far has been the realism versus sort of hardcore realism or casual sort of fun. And that's been clashing for a long time in the Hunter, and they've gone out and basically stated that the Hunter is a game, not a simulator, but it is a realistic game. So it's trying to be sort of a little bit of both, and it's kind of working, kind of not, if you ask me. If anything, if the new game pushes more towards the fun, casual side of things, if anything, I hope that that can make room for an even better, more hardcore simulator for those who actually want the more hardcore, realistic gameplay. Because I never really understood why both people needed to play that in the same game, what the Hunter was. So we'll have to see. That, of course, requires probably somebody else to make a game too. So yeah, we'll have to see. The future is going to be really interesting for hunting games, it looks like. I think that's about all we can really cover right now. I hope to get some other videos up soon. Hunting season's basically over for me. It's been a kind of bittersweet season, and I might do a video on it. Maybe do another trail cam video like I did last year. Oh, I forgot. Do you have anything else to say, Flinter?
No, I've lost you a couple of times with your mic. Did you cover like the game model as far as like how you're paying for it and stuff?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. They did say it's a one-time buy, right? Yeah, it's not a membership anymore. Oh, and it's not free to play either. So it's one-time buying on Steam now. I'm pretty sure pretty much everything about the new game is on Steam. So Flinter, I don't think you have Steam, do you?
No, I'm gonna have to get that, I suppose.
Yeah, they're really forcing you on it now.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, it'll be one-time purchase, which it's a little bit interesting. I don't know what that'll really mean for it. The last time the Hunter did a one-time purchase, it sort of got dropped after a little while. Cough, cough, primal. But yeah, we'll have to see. They will probably end up continuously adding to this game, and as far as I know, they said that they will not stop development of the original The Hunter. So we'll have to see how this new game affects it. If it'll be slower development or not. I'm sure they'll probably try to tell people that it won't affect it at all, but I don't know how that will actually work out. We'll have to see. It's very new. In fact, it only was announced this week. I tried to get on it as quick as I could. So yeah, I guess that's about it, unless there's anything else.
That's all I got.
Yeah, make sure once again to check out Flinter's channel if you haven't already, and I should be coming out with some new videos soon. This has been the Gamer Outdoorsman, and I will see you guys later.